Thank you, Mr. Teachers, my dear friend. So, emotional intelligence, a total understand human resources. Now, a total is the sound of knowledge, academically, periodically, as a part of things. Now, the heart is the sound of connection. Today, we want to talk about the most underutilized piece of technology. It is in the smartphone, it is in the AI software, it is emotional intelligence, the master key to unlocking the new sources sitting right in front of us. We are in the human resource business, but if we are honest, the resource part of that title usually makes us think of grading data, performance reviews, homework. We look at the student and ask, what can you produce for me? Emotional intelligence asks a radically different question. What is happening inside you right now? How often do we walk into a classroom carrying the weight of our own work on our shoulders? The traffic, the late night grading, family dramas. The students feel that energy before we even say a word. Self-awareness is realizing that you are just a teacher. You are the climate controller. If the climate is talking, the crops won't grow. Before we diagnose the students, we need to diagnose our own emotional temperature. Take a breath. Your mood is the weather. Don't let it be a hurricane or tsunami. Now, we have all seen that student, the one who slams the desk, the one who stares blankly out of the window, the one who is naked. Now, traditional logic says disruptive behavior, detention, punishments. Now, emotional intelligence says disruptive behavior, distress signal. They should have had breakfast, they should have slept, but they didn't. When we respond with curiosity instead of anger, we turn a confrontation into a conversation. We stop managing behavior and start building character. Grades fade, facts expire. Now, we used to teach that Pluto was a planet. Well, not anymore. Even students won't remember the specific date of the Battle of Hastings, but they will remember how you made them feel when they got the answer wrong. They will remember how you looked at them when they walked through the door. So, today we discuss on how the importance of emotional intelligence in our lives, in our schools. So my first question is to Mohit sir. Sir, before a test, you give students 2 minutes to look in the mirror and say one time to themselves. A student refuses and looks away. What is this refusal telling you about their internal human resource? A student who is not ready to appreciate himself. What is your assessment?
आपके लिए मुझे बोलने का मौका मिला है। जैसा कि मैं समझा मुझे कि बच्चे को प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि फेस नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो उसके कई कारण हो सकते हैं। पहला तो सेल्फ डाउन ही हो सकता है, उसका सेल्फ डाउन या सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत कम है। दूसरा इमोशनल बर्न आउट हो सकता है, तो फैमिली भी हो सकती है, फ्रेंड्स में भी हो सकती है, और टीचर के साथ भी कभी कभी हो जाता है कि वो अपने आप को इतना ओपन नहीं कर पाता है कि जैसे जो बता पाए कि मुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम है, और टीचर भी कभी कभी उसे इतना स्पेस नहीं दे पाता है कि वो अपने आप को ग्रो कर पाए। और तीसरा जो मैं समझता हूँ उसमें कॉन्फिडेंस भी बहुत ज़्यादा कम होती है, क्योंकि उसे प्रेशर होता है कि कहीं ना कहीं मैं आंसर नहीं दे पाया तो मेरे जो कलीग्स हैं वो मुझ पर हंसे नहीं। ये कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, कुछ एंजाइटीज में भी हम होते हैं जो बच्चे को फील होती है। ये तो है प्रॉब्लम, उसमें सॉल्यूशन पे भी इसका देना चाहूँगा कि सॉल्यूशन क्या होगा। सॉल्यूशन तो सबसे मस्त है कि बच्चे की केयर, एज ए फ्रेंड भी, एज ए टीचर भी और एज ए पेरेंट्स भी, क्योंकि जैसा हमारा कल्चर है इंडियन कल्चर, उसमें टीचर को एज ए पेरेंट्स ही कंसिडर किया जाता है। तो हम उस पर ध्यान देना होगा सिर्फ गाइडेंस के लिए, थोपना नहीं है उसको कि नहीं मेरी ही बात मानो, ये प्रॉब्लम है तो ये सोल्यूशन होगा। उसका एक सेल्फ स्पेस है उसमें वो वर्क करेगा। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir, for the well assessment and your solution. Now, my next question is to Deepika. Now, a student loses their resist privilege. They could not work the ground, or they lost that privilege, maybe they for an incomplete model. Now they don't seem upset. Later you realize they actively wanted to miss recess because they feel anxious on the playground. Now, how does emotional intelligence change your punishment strategy?
एक्चुअली यहाँ पे बच्चे को जो पनिशमेंट दी गई है वो उसके लिए पनिशमेंट दी गई है। पनिशमेंट दी गई है वो उसके लिए वहाँ पर पनिशमेंट है ही नहीं। जस्ट बिकॉज उस बच्चे को जो पनिशमेंट दी गई है तो वो जाना ही नहीं चाहता है एक्चुअली ग्राउंड में, उसको एंजाइटी है, ठीक है, लाइक एंजाइटी। तो हमें पनिशमेंट ऐसे ही नहीं देनी चाहिए बच्चों को, हमें पहले बच्चों के बारे में जानना चाहिए, उनकी भावनाओं को समझना चाहिए, उनकी भावनाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमें उन्हें पनिशमेंट देनी चाहिए। जस्ट बिकॉज क्योंकि हमें उन्हें मोटिवेट करना है, ऐसी पनिशमेंट नहीं देनी है कि वो डिमोटिवेट हो, है ना। कई बार हम लोग ये सोचते हैं जो नहीं जानते हैं, जैसे कई बार न्यूली टीचर ज्वाइन करते हैं, उनको पता नहीं होता है क्लास में हर बच्चे के नेचर को जानने के लिए कम से कम उन्हें 1-1 चाहिए होता है, 1-1 कम से कम चाहिए होता है, क्योंकि कोई भी बच्चा एकदम से खुद के किसी के सामने नहीं आता है। और उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हमेशा पनिशमेंट ऐसे दें कि वो मोटिवेट हो, कुछ नया सीखे उस पनिशमेंट से, डिमोटिवेट ना हो। तो यहाँ पे जो प्रॉब्लम है, जो बच्चे की पनिशमेंट है वो उसे रिवॉर्ड के रूप में चेंज हो गई है, उसे वो एक इनाम के तौर पे मिले, क्योंकि उसे तो ऑलरेडी पसंद ही नहीं है फील्ड में जाना। आना राइट सर? ओके, थैंक यू।
Thank you, ma'am, for your input. Now, I would like to ask a question to Deepika, sir. So, you put a student aside for a one-on-one strengths interview and ask what kind of a leader are you? The idea, like the helper, peacemaker, or the doer. Now, why is this question more valuable than asking what are you good at? You are given two questions. The first one is what kind of a leader are you? Now, emotional intelligence suggests why it is better to ask what are you good at? What are your viewpoints?
Good afternoon. Respected principalmen, my dear teachers, as we are discussing about the psychological and the philosophical aspect of the best utilization of the human resources, and then my question is, as a teacher, I have to choose a student, and I have a strength interview with him, and I have to choose him being a good leader. Now I have two choices. The first choice is as sir said that you have two questions. The first question is you will ask that what kind of leader you are, and the second one is in which field you are good at it. So for me, I will discuss this in 3 points. The first one will be emphasizing the identity or task. The second one will be like deeper reflections of your character, and the third one will be emphasizing contribution to our performance. I will give you 2 or 3 examples of that. The first thing that I say to you that identity over task. Let's suppose sir is there, like you or 60 to 70 students are there. Many of you know better camera angles, many of you know how to shoot a video more properly. But there is only one teacher who the responsibility to shoot everything. Sir is there. Let's suppose that you like 5 or 6 guests are like coming here, they are like prestigious, like they hold a very dignified positions. So we are all teachers. We all know how to be welcome them and how to behave in front of them. But when they came, there are only few people like Principal Ma'am is there, Jaya Ma'am is there, Abhishek sir is there, who would take responsibility to welcome them. That is the first point of mine. That was the identity over task. The second one is the reflection of the character. Reflection of the character says moderators are as they are clearly giving instruction to all of us. The third one is emphasizing contribution to our performance. That's my favorite point. Let's see the sports field. Like being a teacher, if I make 2 teams and I want to organize a cricket match. Like let's suppose a player X who scored a century and got 5 wickets over. But ultimately his team got fell. So he performed well, but he did not contribute himself as a team captain. Like if I say that go to press conference and you have to please with all the reporters. You know that I performed well, I made a century, I got 5 wickets also. You should be a good leader if you are accountable, if you have abilities to take credibilities, if you are responsible. So my point is, I said 3 words, that is responsibility, credibility and accountability. In a team, many people could be responsible and many people will take responsibilities. But there is only one person who is responsible for everything, and that is you. In any team, there are so many people and so many teammates who take like responsibility, like sir, I will do this, I will do that. But there is only one person who will be responsible for everything. So that's my answer.
Thank you, sir. Now, my next question is to Rihanna. In your class, you are conducting a group work. Now, why does a coordinated student tend into a bossy general, and why the loudest student suddenly claps up? Generally, in a class, we will see students with different personalities, but when we assign them into groups, these personalities may rub the completely opposite order. So, what is your views about this?
Actually, I think it's we, the teachers, who tag the students with personalities. Actually, we don't know that who the real student is. We are watching them as the perspective of the student. We are not judging them as a child. So we are telling them that yes, it's a quiet student, it is a notorious student. We don't know what is the thing which is behind that attribute. Means why they are being so. And as your question is that the quiet one is being bossy, right? And the second one was?
Soon becomes
okay, the louder ones. Yes. Okay. So first let's talk about the quiet one. So it's not necessary that who is the quiet one don't know anything. There could be many reasons behind his quietness. It's his choice to be quiet in class or in school or in group, wherever. So there could be many reasons. Maybe he don't like to express himself easily, himself or herself, as some student or some personalities are introverts. they are not ready easily to express themselves. Especially while we are talking about the class. You said that quiet in the class, but bossy in the group. So there may be some personalities जो क्लास में इतना नहीं शो कर पा रहे हैं अपने आप को, but when they found a group of 4 or 5 students, they get a chance to express themselves more clearly. Maybe another reason can be जो टॉपिक उनको दिया गया है for the task, जो भी टास्क उनको मिला गया है क्योंकि उनको उसमें मास्टर है और जो ग्रुप में बाकी स्टूडेंट्स हैं they are not ready to get the challenge. Means it happens with me sometimes कि हम किसी वर्कशॉप में गए हैं, किसी टीचर्स मिलके टीचर्स हैं हमारे साथ and we have given some activities and everybody is looking at each other's faces. So it could be that while they were expressing or they were talking about themselves, they were very loud and clear. But when it comes about a task, they are not ready to be a leader. Maybe they are afraid of making mistakes. So it depends itself. So it may be that the one who is the quieter, maybe we know more than the students who are another student who are part of this group. So these would be the reason of that the student who is quiet being a bossy. That could be his interest area. Now, if we talk about the one who is louder in the class, but become shy in the group class. So here we have some students in the class. सभी की classes में होते हैं कुछ students होते हैं जो बहुत loud होते हैं when they are in group. अभी कल I think day before yesterday सर ने एक training ली थी जिसमें उन्होंने बताया था कि there are some disturbing elements in the class. तो क्लास में बहुत डिस्टर्ब करते हैं. अगर आपको वहीं पे क्लास में अगर आपको फेस करते हैं उनसे पूछते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा क्योंकि उनको मौका मिल गया है कि आपको एक्सप्रेस करने का इन फ्रंट ऑफ द क्लास, वो बहुत ज़्यादा अपने आप को शो करेंगे. बट एज सर सजेस्ट कि आप 2 मिनट के लिए स्टूडेंट को अकेले में लेके जाएंगे आउटसाइड द रूम. सो वहाँ उनका एटीट्यूड टोटली बदल जाता है. सो इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि जो लाउड है इन फ्रंट ऑफ एवरीबडी वो एक छोटे ग्रुप में उतना बेटर वे में बात कर सकता है. बिकॉज देयर आर मोर चांसेस कि उसकी गलतियों को पकड़ सकते हैं कि ग्रुप में इंटरेक्शन बातें नहीं होती. जितने भी लाउड स्टूडेंट होते हैं वो अदर इंटरेक्शन बातें नहीं करते हैं. उसमें किसी को बुरी करना, किसी का मजाक बनाना या फिर नहीं है जिनके साथ कंफर्टेबल है उनके साथ उसको बुरी करना वो कर सकते हैं. बट व्हेन इट कम्स अबाउट द टास्क जब उन्हें कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है then they are not capable of expressing themselves. So according to me, this could be the reason that the quiet one become a general and the louder become shy or whatever. एक example भी है because whenever I'm teaching in the class तो मेरे पास कहीं ना कहीं से हम connect कर पाते हैं. Mostly मेरे examples movies से आ जाते हैं या फिर मेरा खुद का कोई personal experience होता है. तो इस चीज़ के लिए मेरे पास यहाँ पे भी एक एग्जाम्पल है. यह रचिता in her student life she was very quiet or we can say she was very shy when she was a student, not very expressive, very introvert. But when she is having the position of coordinator she is quite confident and she is ready to accept all the challenges, all the duties and performing them very well. So when I hear this question, it became clear in my mind that yes, this could be a situation like that, and sometimes it could be the defense mechanism also. क्योंकि जब किसी को लगता है कि यहाँ मुझे अपनी साख को बचाना है, अपने आप को मुझे लेट डाउन नहीं करना है ग्रुप में जहाँ लोग मुझे जज कर सकते हैं, तो एक कॉपिंग मैकेनिज्म भी होता है बच्चे का कि वो चाहता है कि हाँ मुझे प्रेस मिले जो कि शायद उसकी क्लास में नहीं हो पा रहा है. He wants to express himself in better way. So this would be the reason. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining your personal experiences. Now, my next question is for you. Now, in your classes, you may have an experience where a student stayed out of the way in a place to look, even when you have given multiple instructions. Now, how do you handle the situations? How do you understand the situation in the background of emotional?
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Sir, the question है कि अगर क्लास में बच्चे खिड़की में खड़े होते हैं तो वो क्यों खड़े होते हैं, क्या रीज़न है उस चीज़ का? तो इसके बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं. फर्स्टली, इंफॉर्मेशन का ओवरलोड होना. जब बच्चे को हम ज़्यादा रूल्स रेगुलेशंस बता देते हैं तो उस टाइम पे वो बच्चा ना फोकस नहीं कर पाता है. या तो उसको हम छोटी छोटी ट्रिक्स में अगर उसको स्टेप बाय स्टेप समझाते हैं तो उसको वो अच्छे से समझ पाता है. बट हम जब रूल्स रेगुलेशन ओवरलोड दे देते हैं तो उससे बच्चा ना समझ नहीं पाता उस चीज़ को. सेकंड, ये भी हो सकता है कि बच्चे का उस टॉपिक के अंदर इंटरेस्ट ना हो. अगर बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट नहीं होगा तो वो शायद ही बाहर देखेगा. तीसरा, टीचिंग मेथड भी हो जाता है. टीचर्स का अगर टीचर टॉप मतलब टीचिंग उसे पढ़ा रहा है, उसकी लैंग्वेज का, उसके मेथड्स का, वो भी रीज़न हो सकता है कि शायद बच्चे को अब लाइक मैं फर्स्ट क्लास में पढ़ाती हूँ और मैं क्लास में जाके बच्चों से इंग्लिश बातें करने लगती हूँ तो उनको समझ में नहीं आएगा वो चीज़ें. बट अगर मैं थोड़ा पिक्चर करके बताती हूँ, बच्चों को हिंट्स देके बताती हूँ, उस चीज़ को वो क्लेरिफाई कर सकते हैं कि हमारे टीचर ने हमको क्या बताया. थर्ड रीज़न ये भी हमारा हो सकता है कि बच्चे की जो माइंड होता है, जब बच्चा माइंड लगाता है अपना तो एज अ टीचर मैंने कोई भी टॉपिक के ऊपर क्लास में बात की है और मैंने उस पर ओवरलोड बोलती चली गई, उसमें मैंने ब्रेक नहीं लिया तो बच्चे को माइंड में ये लग रहा है कि मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया और शायद अगर मैंने मुझसे क्वेश्चन पुट अप कर लिया तो मैं कैसे आंसर कर सकता हूँ. ये भी पॉइंट हो सकता है. दूसरा, अदर फैक्टर्स भी हो सकते हैं. बच्चा बीमार भी हो सकता है. अगर बच्चा पहले से ही थोड़ा टेंशन में है, बीमार फील कर रहा है तो तब भी उसका थोड़ा माइंड डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है इस चीज़ के लिए. इसके सॉल्यूशंस हम ऐसे दे सकते हैं लाइक कोई भी बच्चा इस टाइप की एक्टिविटीज़ कर रहा है तो उसको हम अपने पास बुला के नॉर्मली उसको हम पूछ सकते हैं कि बेटा क्या प्रॉब्लम हुई है आपको, कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या आपको. तो वो शायद अपनी बात को बता सकता है, समझा सकता है कि हाँ मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम है मैम. दूसरी चीज़, हमने कोई भी चैप्टर एक्सप्लेन किया उसको हम रियल लाइफ एग्जाम्पल देके बता रहे हैं या एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू बता रहे हैं या फिर हम अपने गेम्स एक्टिविटी के थ्रू बता रहे हैं तो भी बच्चा उस चीज़ को अच्छे से समझ लेता है. थैंक यू सो मच.
Now, my next is to Ramanama. Why does a student keep tapping the pencil even after we have asked them to stop 5 times or multiple times? In a class, you will find a student, maybe he is tapping on the pencil on the desk, or maybe tapping his feet on the ground continuously. Now we have asked them to stop, but they are unable to do it. After praying, they continue to repeat this behavior. How do you understand this situation?
Thank you, ma'am. So, sometimes students होते हैं एज अ इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस सबका लेवल डिफरेंट होता है. लाइक नॉर्मल इंटेलिजिबिलिटी लेवल सबका डिफरेंट होता है. तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि अगर आपका स्टूडेंट क्लास में कोई भी डिस्टर्बिंग बिहेवियर लाइक पेंसिल बोर्ड फेंक कर रहा है डेस्क पे तो उसमें क्या है वो एक उसका ये हो सकता है अपने आप के इमोशंस और अंडरस्टैंडिंग को एक्सप्रेस
student who always needs to you complaints, not about others, but for even mind silly things. Now, how do you understand the situation? How do you analyze the situation? What is your solution?
The child will be looking for protection or safety environment. So he is coming again and again to me for minor infractions, I would say. He may be looking for more safety from his or her man. But in this situation, instead of scolding or punishing the child, we can, as a teacher, sir, we can give the child responsibility in positive manner, such as classroom monitor. So the energy of the child can be shifted from complaints in positive words, useful manner.
Thank you. Now I have one more question to Ravi sir. Why does my highest performing student have a complete breakdown when they get a single problem wrong? Sometimes we see in the classroom we may have a problem who always gets really good marks. But once in a while, maybe in the test they got a wrong answer. Now suddenly they completely broken down. Like the student who received a 99 out of 100, they just lost it and they started crying and they lose all their confidence. Now, how do you understand or analyze the situation?
सर इस प्रॉब्लम का अगर तो देखा जाए तो साइकोलॉजिकली प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है। साइकोलॉजिकली प्रॉब्लम इस तरह से हो सकता है कि एक तो से आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस हो सकता है। आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस मतलब पहले से उसने आपको अपने आप को एज टॉपर देखा है, और टॉपर देखा है तो उसके लिए हैंडल करना मुश्किल हो जाता है कि मुझसे एक आंसर नहीं दिए गए, तो हो सकता है कि टीचर मुझे उस नज़र से ना दें। दूसरा उसका फियर हो सकता है अपनी पोजीशन को लेकर कि एज ए फेलियर कि मेरी अब वो पोजीशन नहीं रहेगी, तो पोजीशन के लिए भी वो थोड़ा सा प्रिपरेशन हो सकता है। और तीसरा जो मैं कारण मानता हूँ, तीसरा कारण हो सकता है उसका कि जो उसका पेरेंट्स या टीचर्स का जो उसका प्रेशर होता है, क्योंकि हम भी कभी कभी होता है कि जो हमारे बच्चे होते हैं जो टॉपर होता है उससे ज़्यादा प्रेशर ये होता है कि आप ही अच्छा कर सकते हैं, मुझे तुमसे बहुत उम्मीद है, तो कभी कभी वो उस प्रेशर में आके भी डिप्रेस हो जाता है, तो ये कारण हो सकता है।
Thank you, sir, for your views. Now, to you, sir, I have one more question. Now, you introduce a silent superpower activity where the students must witness a peer's emotion based only on facial expression and body language. Now, do you believe this is an effective human resource tool for the teacher? What is your views?
So that will be very useful. So before going there, I will start my point from before going to solve any problem, you should be capable enough to identify the exact problem. Like we are the teachers, we give academic knowledge to the students, we do practicals on laboratories, we and then go to the class and do some physical activity. But also there are certain things that we would neglect because of insufficiency of the time. That is the human behavior of many students. If we consider ourselves, there is no generation gap between teachers and the students, but clearly it is a age gap between teachers and students. So first of all, we have to understand the problem of the students. Like you are telling that you should start some superpower activities. Like for the teachers, if you perform this type of activity to the class, like you have to know everything about the behavior and the sociological aspects of the every student. So for that, you should ask the students that you should start some face expressions, some so that students will get the answers. And teachers should be very attentive for those face expression. Like students are understanding some expressions. What are those exact expressions? Like if a teacher is tired in the class, like if he has some problems and teachers and those students are just making fun. So irrespective of scolding them, irrespective of beating them, you should use those face expressions so that students will clearly understand our teachers like facing, like we should know to these things that in the sports area, like you would not, like we are in a fixed reason. Like if I am involved in my team in 20 tournament, we should not give direction, we should not give direct instructions to the students, like you should perform these activities for that. You should act something. Like if you want to your students to do that pretty much of plan, you should express yourself. If a student is feeling pain in his knees, so you should not tell that, oh, you have pain, first tell me. No, you should be capable enough to understand the problems of your students, and if you are capable in understanding the problems of your students, you give the best solution, like you give the best solutions. So this strategy will only be helpful for the teachers and the students coordination. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my dear speakers, for your views on this topic. Now, we are the ultimate human resource management. Our job isn't just to fill the approximate facts, but to fill the spirits with the courage to fail, the grace, try again, and the belief that they matter, that they are important. Let's turn our human curriculum of emotional intelligence into our primary lesson plan, because when we reach the heart, the mind will inevitably follow.